The mic back up. Okay, so welcome back, guys, to another Year's Revenge video. This one's all about a faction that's not really much of a faction, but now I actually figured out what they're called. They're now called nationalities, so that's what they're called. This one's gonna be the... I have to regret this because a lot of people are gonna be hating on me, but the worst allied one. Worst allied thing there is. Now a lot of people are gonna be hating on me, but hear me out. I'm gonna tell you guys why it's the worst. Even Lucian hates me if I say it, but hey, I don't care. I'm getting my mind out so that you guys get to know why I think France is actually really bad. So I'm using France this time. France is really bad for one reason and another. Here's the main reason. They get an awesome, overpowered, defensive... It's called a turret, right? I don't know, but I would say it is a very powerful defensive turret. Now, if you think of a turret, it's usually, it's usually very good. Well, the French Grand Cannon is not a turret-ish kind of deal. It's overpowered. Yes, it is. Is it powerful? Why, yes, it is. Is it capable of dealing mass destruction? Yes. Is it worth it? No. Okay, so I did put a lot of points there, but I did put one bad point. Why did I do that? Well, Grand Cannon is the most cost-worthy defensive thing out there, and it's got more negatives than anything else you can build in the Allies. Okay, first, I'm actually going to go with this because it has many because the wiki says there's many drawbacks. The shells fired from his cannon are rather inaccurate and will likely miss moving targets, but a direct hit may not be required, given the powerful blast the projectile has. Yes and no. Usually you want to be right exactly on it, so though you can deal a lot of damage. French is usually kind of bad at this kind of point. See, look, that was inaccurate, and that's not what I wanted. There we go. I just lost a couple tanks, but I can rebuild them, so it's not that bad. Let's get some tanks here. Let's go get some engineers over here. So this map is pretty closed in, I would say. It's not like the worst map ever. It's like it's closed in a little bit. Dumbass. Okay, so I'm gonna get the engineers over here so you won't run out of materials or minerals. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, they're called minerals. Or those are oil refineries, though. But we won't run out of cash monies. Okay, so let's see here. We are going to build another French Grand Cannon, which is not the smartest idea. And another drawback is that the structure had no defense against aircraft and incoming missiles. Is that really how... Okay, I think they made a grammar error. The structure has no defense against aircraft, not had, because it still doesn't have it in this game. And this is Railroad 2, right? Yeah, this is a Railroad 2 version, so it has. Which I do agree. It doesn't have any, but you can usually just do this with Guardian GIs and all that to protect it from those kind of imperfect qualities. But if I have to say, yes, this thing is right, the wiki is right, they don't have too many good things. The Grand Cannons are expensive, acquiring 2,000 credits to deploy. I guess it was credits, not real money. Okay, so I'm going to get my mind out here, because this is where it gets really irritating for Lucian, but it's actually really true. Okay, so we're going to put a side-by-side comparison of the Prism Tower and the Grand Cannon. First, I actually didn't even see this, but I think the Prism Tower costs less energy to at least get it done, and it actually works just as good. And as soon as your power's off, all three of these things are gone. It's just another drawback, but not too much though. But not if the Grand Cannon costs 100 power. And the prison tower costs about, like, I'm gonna take a stab here and say 80. Because it doesn't seem like it's gonna cost that much. But one definite thing I can definitely say is that the Grand Cannon doesn't kill infantry units all that often in one hit. The Prism Tower, on the other hand, can. Except for Yuri Prime, which Yuri Prime can take it over before it actually starts hitting him, so it kind of defeats the purpose, but hey, it's there. Another good point is that they both cost differently, or this one's actually really cheaper. I think it's like 1,500. Well, this costs 2,000. 2,000's a pretty hefty cost for a defensive maneuver, but a little bit defensive structure. But hey, if that's what they think it might actually buff it out, then who might argue? They think it's good, so. And one definite drawback to France is that if your enemy tries to attack you, let's say they try and attack this portion of the base while my Great Cannons are over here and all that. Well, my Great Cannon's going to try and hit them, but they're also going to hit my structures, which then turns out to be a bad idea. We got more deployed, I guess. I don't know. Oh, the Grand Cannon does one hit them. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay, so if enemies manage to get past the cannons and get into the base, are still in its range of fire, the shell not only causes damage to enemies, but also friendly units and structures. I just said that. Which is one drawback I definitely hate about the Grand Cannon. But it's not too bad, so you can get over that. You can just have a bunch of money and just narrow it down to 0. So doesn't really matter. You can blow that off. Requires a lot of power to operate, taking out enough power plants to render the cannon offline. Yes, we've already seen that. 4 power plants and 2 things which cost 100 power each. That's 200 right there. That's like 1 power plant. And the other buildings are only costing about 400. You know how much 4 cannons would do? They drain it completely dry. You need a lot of power and a lot of resources to keep this cannon online and working. If not, then you lose it. Which is the sad thing about it, because you know what? I don't want to see my freaking structures get ruined. New rally point established. And France is all defensive, it's not aggressive. Especially if they use the Grand Cannon to attack. It's not really the smartest thing ever, but
nobody here but us trees. Unit ready. Creeping ahead.
I love Mirage tanks, they're so much fun. 2 shots to kill a freaking infantry unit. And if you have 2 of them, then it becomes even greater.
Now you see me, soon you won't. Want some shade? Now you see me, soon you won't.
Hooray! Not really. They're pretty fast and they're pretty good.
Creeping ahead.
I'm not gonna say allies are terrible, but some of the things that they can get is pretty stupid. Okay, what the heck? Really? Just that little speck? Okay, come on. You go there. Come on. Don't be dumbass. You guys might as well just destroy that.
Natural sanctuary.
Okay.
Now you see me, soon nobody here but us trees. Creeping ahead.
So don't even get me started on what these Allies and Soviets and Uris can do when they have super weapons. Cause that just gets hectic, especially against AI and players too. Because these guys go after the main thing, which is the genetic mutator, Iron Curtain, and Chronosphere. They start using that a bunch of times, and Russia is usually very aggressive, which is why they have the Iron Curtain and a nuke. And the Allies have a weather station and the Chronosphere. Well, Yuri just stays as mind-controlling as he is, and the genetic mutator changes any infantry into brutes, which are pretty big, beefy enemies, which can actually hit pretty hard against tanks. And he can also get what was it?
Building.
Well, he can mind control enemies through a superpower or a super weapon,
New rally point established.
which kind of defeats the purpose of having Yuris and all that if you can do that. Whatever.
Unit ready.
What is the other thing? The shell is limited by terrain changes. Target that placed within an area lower than the Grand Canyon, or if there are natural obstacles between the cannon and the target, the shell may not hit the target. So as you can see, there's a lot of drawbacks to this that make it really terrible. And not too many pluses, except for you got a decent base defense.
Ready.
It's great against ships. Don't even get me started on ships. When it gets a ship, it's out of there. Go away, ship. That's basically what it says.
Prism tank in order, sir. Estimating distortion error. Intensifying light trajectory. Prism sensor.
Okay, so
Positional data received.
the main thing, though, that I'm trying to get at is that France is not aggressive. No matter how much you want it to be aggressive, it will never be aggressive. They could be passive-aggressive, but they can't be aggressive, where if your opponent attacks and then you can counterattack kind of deal. That's basically what passive-aggressive would mean. But in this kind of sense, it just means that you attack shortly after just to try and narrow down their attacking forces. But definitely, they would definitely go after other.
Positional data received.
They would try and
Lens shifters in working condition.
get some kind of positive things in there.
Prism sensor stable. Positional data received.
I guess I don't know. Can I constantly shoot from that? Nope.
Positional data received.
Oh no.
Prism sensor stable.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you to
Contact.
run, but shoot at the same time.
Resolving. Estimate distortion error. Focusing light energy. Panels charged.
Oh no. Destroy it! Quick!
Promoted.
Okay, good. No, run!
Error. Compensating for terrain.
Run before you are dead.
Positional data received. Positional data received. Natural sanctuary. Time for ambush. Lens shifters in working condition.
Our base is under
Magnifiers
attack.
activated.
Alrighty then, so we're just gonna narrow down their structures to a little bit measly minimum.
Magnifiers activated.
I'm just gonna send some Mirage tanks over here, just to try this prism tank.
Our base is under attack.
Tank in order, sir. Estimating distortion error. Intensifying light trajectory. Prism tank in order.
Can you please get rid of that?
Trajectory. Perfect hideout. Creeping ahead. Perfect hideout. Look natural.
Our base is under attack.
I don't know why there'd be trees in a stadium, but go right ahead.
Calculating reflection arc.
Every infantry in this game is fucking stupid.
Our base is under attack.
Lens shifters in working condition.
Our base is under attack by what? Oh, screw that guy then.
Driver up.
That's all I gotta say.
Yes, sir. On our way, sir.
Screw that guy then.
Fire zone confirmed.
Unit lost.
I know these things aren't gonna survive though, but if they can do at least a pretty decent heavy damage on it, that'd be nice.
Readjusting stabilizers. Intensifying light trajectory. Tank in
Fire rate and the light passageways, I guess, I don't know. Pathways get extended a little bit, so that's pretty nice. Oh, we got 2 3s over here. Awesome. We only got one over here.
target coordinates.
If we can get a 3 over here, that'd be awesome. Because then we can... Oh, we got a 3 over there too. Nice. This is why
Stable.
prism tanks are usually called snipers, because they can really rip through anything. And they don't even destroy walls either. They just go, okay,
Fires activated. Going mobile.
go in mobile.
Going mobile.
France, they could do a little better in my opinion. Probably some Mirage tank, I don't care. You're all dead when I destroy that freaking sentry gun.
Magnifiers activated.
Warriors defeated. You are victorious.
What? So as I said, not really too much aggressiveness for France. I guess the Grand Cannon could do like a prism, not tank, the tower could do. Like it can narrow down to one enemy at a time. Then that would be awesome, and it doesn't do area of effect damage. I guess that could be I guess that could help a little bit. But if but that's just the thing, though. It's not really as good as it should be. But it is a really good structure to build if you want to try something new for your team. It's very good against team plays if you use that as a frontward defense, and then you have some kind of tanks to guard it, so that they don't no enemies get too close. Especially with apocalypse tanks, because if you use apocalypse tanks, they auto regen health. So, and using IVs with engineers in them also regenerate tanks' health, which is usually very good. So there are many ways you can use France. There's many ways you can abuse the Grand Cannons to actually fulfill none of those drawbacks, except for the credits and the what was it called? And the power. But out of all that, there's not too many ways. Definitely one main thing I would like to get to your attention is that if you have a Soviet teammate and you're France, don't be afraid to ask them if they can build a nuclear power plant for you, so that way that you can take it and use it for your Grand Cannons. Because you're doing what I said, where they have their apocalypse tanks in the front center, or in the front, while you have Grand Cannons near the back of them. And let's say you say, "Oh, I don't have enough money for a power plant, but I have enough money for an engineer." Don't be afraid to ask a Soviet player for a power plant, a nuclear power plant, because that gives you 2,000 power. Don't be afraid, because that costs 1,000 for 2,000 power, and 600 for 200. That's not really the greatest. Now, how many freaking Grand Cannons that can charge up? That can charge up with freaking 10. Actually, no, I think they can charge up 20. Yeah, they can charge up 20. That's pretty awesome. But don't be afraid to ask somebody that, though. Like, seriously, I had like, what was that? I think I had like 200,000 credits at one point, and I was with a France player. France player didn't even say anything, and he kept on saying, "I ran out of cash for the Grand Cannon." I'm like, "Would you like power for it?" He's like, "No, that's fine." He runs out of power after he puts the Grand Cannon on. I'm like, "Would you like a power plant?" He's like, "No, I don't want a power plant." I'm like, "Well, you're gonna need a nuclear power plant, because it gives you more." And he's like, "Nope." So I built a power plant in his base. Now this guy is one of those types of players that, like, if somebody builds in the base, it needs to be his. So what he does, he puts an engineer, and he's like, "How did I get over 2,000 freaking energy?" And I'm like, "Because the nuclear power plant gives you 2,000 power." He's like, "Oh, okay. I thought you meant just a normal power plant." I'm like, "No, this is called a nuclear power plant. It gives you a lot of freaking advantages with your Grand Cannons." So like, "Oh, okay." So, yeah. So now, I think at 2 months after, I saw the same player. We're both playing the same thing. He's France, and I'm still Russia. It was 2 versus 2. So he asked me, "I have enough money for an engineer. Could I have a nuclear power plant?" And I'm like, "Sure." I built one in my nearest base, because both of ours it's like cramped, so both of our bases would have to mix in with each other. So I like have this nuclear power plant that I just placed down. He's like, "Oh, okay." So he puts his engineer in there. There you go, 2,000 power. So that's how you can abuse France with Soviets. So that's why the power problem is usually not too much if you're with a Soviet player, but if you're with any other player, it gets kind of intense, especially against especially if you have allied companions. If you only have allied companions, just don't ask them for a power plant. When you're with a Soviet player, ask the Soviet player. I've met, for every Soviet player I've seen that was with France, they've all generously donated a nuclear power plant. All of them. Because they know that France has the best defensive cannon. It does get bad if it's in the base. So what France players do is they put it outside the rim of their base. So though if anybody tries to get close, they're gonna get hit with the cannon first, and then as soon as they try and hit the cannon out, you got a tank force going in and then just destroying the leftovers, which is usually not that bad, but not too many people do that anymore, because they got Red Alert 3 and I don't like it. I don't like Red Alert 3. I like Red Alert 2 because Puck's things are overpowered. So sorry about ranting for too long. I think it was about like 2 or 3 minutes maybe. I don't know, but it's just to show you how good friends can be if you have other players. So yeah, goodbye guys. See you guys tomorrow. Maybe, I don't know. Goodbye guys.